It was one of our Wine Wednesday night. We were at our favorite restaurant in downtown Phoenix. It's called Paula, enjoying a glass of wine, chit-chatting about life, and by the way, the food in that restaurant is phenomenal, super good. A very close friend of mine suggested that I should start a podcast. I looked at her and I laughed. I thought she was kidding. I cannot even imagine myself talking in public, but she looked at me seriously and said that I really give great advice. And she thinks that, like, many people can benefit from my life story, especially things I learned in real estate and still learning at this time. And she believed that, like the beginning of my life story, being an immigrant in this country, learning how to navigate life and really successful in the field where I'm at right now, she thinks that it would be pretty cool if I put it out there and people can basically learn from it. So that's kind of how it all started. The next day, I was in my home office, pretty convinced that, I will start putting together a podcast. Then I realized and I asked, like, oh shoot, where and how am I going to start this? I really don't know how to start a podcast. So I start researching, trying to figure out basically what kind of software I can use and things like that. But even the very beginning of, putting a podcast is even understanding what are you going to talk about. So anywho, as a very detailed kind of person I am, what I did is I went back to every single year of my life from the day I arrived in the US, and I listed different phases and chapters of my real life experiences. So, hey everyone, welcome to my first podcast. Okay, listen, I want to get a few disclaimers out of the way. Number one, I don't know 100% of what I'm doing yet, what I'm gonna put out in this podcast. Number two, listening to my voice right now feels really awkward, and I want you to excuse my cute little accent. But here I am, I'm gonna do this, and I'm doing it. 2 years ago, I attended a coaching seminar in California. It was a 3-day coaching seminar where we get to learn how to start and build a coaching business, because I always have interest in coaching, and so I thought that maybe being a real estate coach is something that I can do. One of the activity in that seminar is that we get a chance to interact with the attendees. It was a 3-day seminar, and it's like thousands of us in that room, where we get to form a small group, maybe 5 or 6 of us in that group, and we get to share our life story, our life experiences, as well as we get to do impromptu presentation about our coaching skills and how we build our coaching business. At the end of every group session that I participated, the feedback that I get from my fellow attendees is they always encouraged me to start my own podcast and basically share my life story and experiences, because they said that after hearing my story, they believe that, it is something that people can relate to, and it is very interesting and very empowering that I should share it to the public. So there's always that podcast ideas floating around for several years before today. But I let things get in the way. So many reasons why I never really started this 2 years ago or even a year ago. Reasons like, I don't know how to do it, I'm so busy, would anyone even care or listen to it? Does the world need yet another podcast? There's so many already out there. I could keep listing excuses after excuses, but they boil down to one thing: fear. I hate admitting this, but it's true. I'm afraid to put it out in the world, my life story. I'm afraid of talking knowing there will be people listening. So many fears, so many what ifs that prohibits me from not taking the next step. But that's the end. That very next day after our Wine Wednesday night, I look at myself in the mirror and I say to myself, I challenge you to be courageous enough to exchange fear for fun. I told myself, you have permission to have fun as you explore these new challenges, as you learn this new skill. But more importantly, you have permission to tell your story because your story can possibly change someone's life. So here I am setting up a mic and testing my new podcast. As I go through this journey with you guys, I will for sure make mistakes. I will sound ridiculous. I will get lost. But that's okay. In my head, if I do this more often, I will get better and better. This is really my whole life story is all about. Everything that I know now, everything that I mastered right now, I have to teach myself how to do it. I have to force myself to get out of my comfort zone. I have to force myself to overcome so many fears because I know that if I will consistently focus on getting better and learning these things, eventually I will master it and I will get better at it just like everything else. The knowledge and skills I learned over the last 18 years were all new. I had to really teach myself all of those because I didn't grow up learning the real estate, building a business, and all these other things I know now in the Philippines. I'm so blessed to meet so many great people along the way who taught me all the skills that I know now and also challenges me to always do better, to always be on top of things, to learn new things, and to always stay ahead of the game. You learn from experiences and people you associate yourselves every day. Whenever people tell me their wild and crazy ideas or dream, I always look at them and I say, you know what? You just need to start doing it. You don't need full business plan to get started. You will learn as you go. I believe in you and I believe that you can do it because if a girl from a third world country that has to learn everything from scratch can do it and can be really great at it and able to secure her place in the world, I believe it's possible for any. For over a decade, I've realized that my passion in real estate lead me to my business and profession right now, and my profession lead me to my purpose. And my purpose is to empower people to believe that impossibilities are actually possibilities in your life if you're willing to put hard work. If you're willing to remain dedicated and if you're willing to move past fear and doubt. I am making a bold declaration today that while I don't have all the answers and I'm not really sure what this podcast is going to turn into, I can say that each episode will empower me to stand in my purpose. I will show up each week sharing my past and present life experiences. I will walk you through each chapter of my life and offer an advice in overcoming obstacles and achieving personal freedom. I will share my knowledge in real estate, what's happening in Phoenix real estate market right now. I will share information about real estate investing. I will share the tools I use in buying real estate. I will share information about buying real estate using conventional financing or your IRA or 401k. I will share everything about real estate, including how to buy distressed pre-foreclosure properties, what to look for in renovating your investment property, the pros and cons of being a landlord, how to find the right property management company, and more. The future is a blank canvas, and I'm willing to start painting with you all. But the real question is, will you paint on the canvas of your future? I'm ready, so let me know if you want to join me and be a little scared a lot of time. So let's get started. My name is Rosali with AZ One Stop Real Estate. I am your host of Life, Loss, and Real Estate. Today, we begin with Chapter 1, The Arrival, focusing on the start of my new life here in America. 2005, my life took a significant turn when I immigrated from the Philippines to the United States. This episode, New Beginnings, Adapting to New Life in the US, is all about my early experiences in a brand new world. It was a time filled with learning, adapting, and connecting with fascinating people and opportunities. In this episode, I will share my stories of adjusting to a different culture. From humorous and challenging tasks of learning how to drive a car in the US, from even ordering sub sandwich at Subway, I will also give you a glimpse into the world of real estate as housing prices peaked in 2006, marking my introduction to an industry that would shape my future. So, settle in as I embark you on this journey of growth, challenges, and triumphs with me. This is not just a story of real estate. It's a tale of a personal empowerment and the pursuit of freedom. Many Filipinos grow up dreaming of going abroad. Growing up, it seemed like everyone around me was looking to go to another country for a better life and future. If I have a Filipino listener right now, I'm sure you can relate to this part. But for me, it was different. I really did not dream of going abroad or leaving my friends and, most importantly, leaving my family behind. Filipino culture has a very strong family connection. I remember when I was a kid, my dad used to tell us that if I will get married one day and have a family of my own, that he will build a second floor of our family home and we will be staying on the second floor, and then my sister and her family will be on the third floor. Imagine if actually that ever happened. I'm sure my dad would be very happy right now. For us Filipinos, family is everything. Growing up, I remember every Sunday we all hung out at my grandparents' house after church. It feels like it was a mandatory rule that we cannot break. We cannot skip Sunday at our grandparents' house or we will be in big trouble for sure. But it was a very special time. We get to hang out with my uncles, my aunts, my cousins. We cooked, we play, and we eat, and of course, we sing karaoke. You're not a Filipino if you don't have a karaoke at home. When I was in college, I had my life all planned out. I wanted to get a degree in business, then after that, find a well-paying job, then save money so I could start my own business. I always dream of becoming a successful business owner. I remember when I was in grade school, like ninth or 10th grade, during summertime, when there's no school, I always asked my mom to rent a small space where I could sell food. I remember selling hotcakes and street barbecues, and I really like it. It was fun. My mom would wake up at 4 a.m. to go to the market or palengke every day to buy the ingredients and the meats for my business venture. Seeing my mom do that and supporting my little venture taught me so much about business. She was very supportive, and I think that's how I developed my business acumen right now. My parents worked tirelessly for others. I always told myself I want to be in charge of my own time and do something I love. I remember my dad comes home from work at midnight. Like, we don't really see him all day. And then my mom worked on weekends, so we only get to spend time as a family on Sunday. When it comes to work and career, a lot of us Filipinos always end up in a medical field like nursing or nursing assistants or working in the assisted living facilities or nursing facilities. But for me, even when I was young or growing up, I really did not want to be in that field. Number one, I'm scared of hospitals. I really do not want to step into hospitals. I have fear being around like sick people or injured or any of that kind of stuff. I really cannot be in that field. So growing up, I witnessed my godmother run her own business. It was an import-export business. It was a thriving business at that time. I grew up seeing her traveling to other countries, attending trade shows and stuff like that. And seeing her able to handle her business so well, it was very inspiring to me. And I looked up to her and dreamed that one day I will have my own business as well. Even though my whole plan is to stay in the Philippines, life had other plans for me. I found myself landing in Phoenix, Arizona in 2005. The first time I stepped into Phoenix, I remember looking around and it literally just dawned on me. I was like, wow, I'm really in a new country. I felt a lot of mixed nerves, feelings. I was nervous, I was scared a little bit, but I was also so excited to see what my future held here. My early life in the Philippines laid the foundation for who I am today. It was for sure a life filled with love, challenges, and dreams. So I thank you all for walking down this memory lane with me. I hope it gives you a little glimpse into my journey before I embark on my life story in the US. Stay tuned for more stories and insights in our next episode. Take care and hope to see you next time. I would love to know who you are, so please leave a comment on my Instagram and Facebook page, AZ One Stop Real Estate. Better yet, if you would like to leave a review for this podcast, it would mean the world to me, and I promise to read each one of them. So thank you for being here, and I cannot wait to pursue our passion and our purpose together.